Okay, I assume you guys have read the title, seen the picture. Yes, it's true. I am talking about the one and only Funky Dineva. All right. Funky Dineva's media exposure increases. So does his black people rhetoric. But why? Is it funky or is it Q talking? Is it projection or education? Is it helping or hindering? All right, this tarot reading reveals the sad truth. Now, let me say this first and foremost. I had been meaning to do this for months now. I was just putting it off because I believe in when something hits me, like a topic hits me, like, for instance, Scott running away at that reunion. I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to put it off. Like, there have been plenty of times that I was ready to do this video and then something else happened and I wanted to cover that. And I just pushed it off until the few days before he even did, well, I'll mention that video later, but I was like, you know what? I can't push this off anymore because I want to talk about it. I want to have a conversation about it. Okay. So this is not going to be Indigo Sage going in on him. This is to open a conversation in a community that I belong to. I am a black woman. Okay. I've shown you guys my picture, which is coming up next, as you already know, but I'm a black woman. And I have followed Funky Dineva when he was still Funky Dineva wearing wigs from the beginning when he was covering Real Housewives of Atlanta and poking fun at Nene with no hair in the bike, as he says it. And it was funny, and I even take some accountability throughout this reading. So let's get started. And of course, there may be new people here, and you're wondering, who am I? I am Indigo Sage, an awakened soul. I do have a spiritual website at unapologeticallysage.com, covering many, many topics that we experience in our daily life. Just looking at them from a spiritual point of view. You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook under Unapologetically Sage. First and foremost, I want to say that this is not going to be a gang up on Funky Dineva thing. And I'm not going to break down my process because I've done that with all the videos prior. So if you're new, what I'm doing is a tarot reading. This is a tarot reading, okay? Which is what it said in the title. It's a tarot reading. And I'm asking the question of, basically how does his black rhetoric correlate with his increased media attention? All right. Is he doing it on purpose? Where is it coming from is what I'm trying to figure out, because it has increased. So I got receipts too. Let me say this first and foremost. Well, I already did first and foremost, so let me say this second and second most, okay? I have receipts backing up everything I'm getting ready to say, every single word I'm getting ready to say. So I know that, people like to come for people in the comments when they are, caping for someone. And if you make sense, I'll respond. If you don't, you'll be blocked. Point blank, period. I'm not playing and no sugarcoating here, and I ain't got time for it. This is my channel. I can say and do what I want, just like he can. All right? We have what's called freedom of speech. So if you make sense, you good. If you don't, you're not. Point blank, period. I'm not getting ready to play because my intentions are not bad. So as long as you watch the entire video and look at my receipts, then you'll probably be okay. If you choose not to look at all the receipts and go a different route, you may not be okay right here on my channel. I'm just letting you know straight up. Now, this is a description, and this made me laugh. This is a description that I got, and I got the receipts right under it. Just Googling them, just to see what they say. Like I said, I followed him from the beginning, and there was, some times I unsubscribed, and actually I don't believe my current status is subscribed. But let me just break down who the internet says he is. Preacher, blogger, poet, actor, talk show host, TGIF on Fox, Soul, YouTuber, and urban pop culture critic. Now, this preacher is what made me laugh, and that was on IMDb. And it's right there on your screen, whatever screen you're looking at. All right, moving right along. Now wait a minute, before we move along, who puts those in there? Who puts IMDb descriptions in? Is it the actual person? Or I wonder that. See, look, my regular sages know I nerd out sometimes. I didn't nerd out right there because you know why? We got too much to talk about. Let's go. Here is my first piece of evidence. My first piece of evidence. Now, I'm not getting ready to read every single title, but let me tell you, these are just only a handful of YouTube stories that Funky Dineva did that were aimed at degrading black people. This is just a handful, okay? I'm not going to read them all. You can pause the video and read them all if you like, if you choose to. But this is just a handful, all right? So there's a little trolls sprinkled throughout because originally this was supposed to go on Trolling Tuesday, but I've already explained in a previous sneak peek video that I already recorded this, all right? And when I listened to the playback, I was angry in it. It came across angry because I was cussing. It was a lot of cussing. All right. And I wasn't angry when I started, but while I was working on it, like the moment I was working on it, he released a video and it was talking more black people rhetoric, and that pissed me off. And, then the video was, every other word I was saying was cuss words. But originally, and I'm getting back to my original feeling, I just want to open up dialogue, have a conversation about this. All right. And like I said, I was already planning to do this months ago. I just kept pushing it off because it wasn't that big of a deal. But now it is, because it is becoming poisonous, I feel. And I'm just wanting a conversation, a dialogue about it, from people with sense, people with education, and whether, and I'm not talking about you got to be going to a state university or nothing like that. I'm just saying, so I want some common sense, just sense. I don't want any trolls in my comments. You won't, you're not going to shine here. So don't try me. So even though I'm not going to read all of them, I am going to read one right in the center. I'm going to start right here. Enough with this everyone hates black women bull. All right. And as you can see, I have my little emoji saying, is this about the time that you lost 20,000 subs? He lost 20,000 subs when he went on a ranting rampage, and I was one of them that he lost, saying that black women want to be black gay men. He said that. Then proceeded to say he didn't give a F who didn't like it and who unsubscribes. It was a long rant. Very disrespectful and crazy. And I'm gonna admit, my feelings was hurt, okay? My feelings was hurt for two reasons. I had been supporting him from the beginning when it was just a kiki. And I am a black woman. And I do not want to be a black man, a black gay man. I mean, what the hell was that? I was like, why are you attacking us? And he's saying it with such, with such authority. And just as if it's a true statement. So anyway, he learned a lesson. He lost 20,000 subscribers at that time. That was a few years ago, okay? Since then, he's bounced back. No doubt about it. He's bounced back. But you know what he did also since then? He came with a kind of an apology sort of speak, all right, about that shit. Because he knew he was wrong when he did that shit. And he has not said those words ever again in his mouth on a platform where black women can watch. I don't know what he says in his private life. But he has never uttered those words again on a platform where black women can watch, okay? So that's called learning a lesson, which is progress. That's good. Then we get to the black people. Now, this is another one, just the second one. It's just two that I want to mention. Black people have a lot of unlearning to do. That was more recent one. In it, I'm just going to tap on one thing because I want all black people to stop doing this type of dumb shit. It's dumb shit, in my opinion. And I'm going to stop right there. I ain't going to be cussing. Let me catch myself. One of the examples that he said that black people had to unlearn was basically he was talking about not paying your bills. First of all, I want to say not all black people. This is where I'm talking about projection comes in at, okay? Because then he goes to talk about what his mama said and how he was raised and what he was doing and all this. That's called projection, sir. That's your projection. You're projecting that shit on us, black people. That's not your education. That's projection. Because not all black people don't pay their bills. What the heck are you talking about? So, a little more details on what he was saying. He said that he won't forget that one time his mama, he was on the phone with his mama, and his mama asked, what you doing? And he said he was getting ready to go pay his credit card bill. And she said, how much is it? And he said the amount. And she said, boy, you better not pay that bill. And so he learned not to pay his bills. And that he said that for a long time, I think he said up until recently, I always lived 4 days away from getting cut off. And sorry about that alarm. Anyway, he said, let me repeat it just in case that alarm went over what I said. He said from that day, all up until I believe he said recently, his bills were he was always 4 days from getting cut off. And he said, us black people need to unlearn that shit. What you really need to do is pay it completely off as soon as you get it. Okay. All I'm going to say is this. What's wrong? The first thing that's wrong with that is that not all black people are living 4 days away from getting cut off. Not all black people's mama said don't pay that bill. This is why I'm saying it's projection, because let me tell you something. I didn't live like that, and I can't connect with that, and that's not his Florida State University education. That's his projection from his childhood is what that is. Secondly, he's half right. Okay, I'll give him some credit by saying you should pay it off. He said you should pay it off as soon as you get it. All right, so here's the thing. When you're trying to build credit with a T, you don't do that. You do monthly payments at least for 3 to 6 months in order to show what? History. Credit history. When you go to buy a house, they want to see credit history. When you go to buy a car, they want to see credit history. So that is where paying it off within that 30 days can hurt you because you won't have a credit history. They can see you have some, but what they want to see ultimately is that you can pay per month. Because what if someone passed away and you got a big inheritance, a lump sum, and so you bought something on credit and paid it right off, but now you have no more money. That's a possibility for those buy it, pay it right off type of thing. They need to see that you are consistent and that you have history of paying on time. When you go to buy big purchases, usually, I'm going to say 99%, that's what they're looking for, is a history, not a buy and pay off right in the same month. All right, so that's where I disagree with him at. And then also, my mama ain't told me no mess like that. My mom is totally opposite of what that was. She has always taught me, you need credit and this is how you do it. She ain't never and would never say nothing. And it's funny because I told her what, I called my mama up and told her, what he's saying, just to have a kiki. And she was like, what? So yeah, everybody's mama didn't say that, Q. Moving right along. Here we are at the past card, and it was upright, and it is the Ten of Wands. He felt that black people were carrying a burden on our backs, as he was from the way he was raised. He felt this way in the past before he ever spoke out about it, meaning that black people were carrying a burden on our backs. And to me, it feels like, when I was doing this reading, it feels like he felt like the burden was his to carry since he had a platform. He always wanted to speak about it, but he knew he'd have to take off the wig and be Quentin. He was fearful of black people's reaction. That fear comes from his childhood, and it does. I channeled that energy, and however he was treated in his childhood, he's connecting that. So let's move on, because I don't want to make this video too long. When I first did it, it was so long. So I'm trying to make it much shorter and reasonable. So let's move on. And let me say this. I wish I had said this in the beginning. This conversation is not just for black people. So I really hope that all of my stagies are watching this, okay? Because I know I have a variety, which I love. That's how my life actually looks. That's how my friend circle, family circle looks, okay? We got a mix of everybody, okay? Even my own child. So this is all inclusive. But the topic is, Funky's elevation in media and the elevation in black rhetoric. Like, is that connected? So, let me also say with the past, the Ten of Wands, upright. 10 means completion and starting anew. For Q, it meant his fears dissolved and now he can rebrand. That confidence ushered in the black people talk. All right. The past card is so important because it directly influences the present card. So these were clarified by my deck that, I use all the time, the Ultimate Clarifiers deck. And this card that clarified it was Begin the Climb in reverse. This card says it's time to face your fear, one step at a time. He wasn't ready, and that's why it was in reverse. His fear made him procrastinate. So again, this is clarifying the past card. He was willing to do it and had identified, this is what I want to do. This is bothering me. This is on my heart, my mind. I want to speak up about it. But having a reverse card of Begin the Climb, it's like, I'm gonna procrastinate just a little bit. It's like he had to dip his toe in the water, basically, because he had to be careful about how he introduced it. And I remember him sitting there saying he was gonna come at us as Q. He was gonna not take the wigs off because it was just serious topics that need to be discussed. And he didn't want to do it with the wigs on, which I didn't have a problem with that, but I didn't know what was coming. Let's continue. This is when he had a discussion about He wasn't going to wear wigs anymore. He wanted to be a serious journalist. And then he kept teasing about having TV appearances in a TV show and catch that, And so he announced he was going to be on Sister Circle as a DJ to give a man's perspective. So here's the thing with that. I am all for people growing and expanding and, going for their dreams and accomplishing their goals. I am 110,000% here for that. However, this is what was weird to me. And I read it and I did not screenshot it and put it up here, but it is what it is because it is that, because I read it with my own eyeballs. He was cast as a person to be a DJ. He was supposed to stand up like in the corner. And actually, I believe they have one show where he's like that. And I didn't screenshot it. Back then, I wasn't thinking I was going to be doing this right here, right now. But anyway, a DJ. And he admitted that he had no idea how to DJ and he really wasn't going to be a DJ. He had already said that on his YouTube channel, okay? So we can all get past this and say he was a fake DJ. So his real purpose was to give a man's perspective. Now, true enough, he's a man. So he can give a man's perspective. Nothing wrong with that. However, the more detail of the man's perspective was on women and men's relationships. To my understanding, romantic relationships. So now I pose the question, how can a gay man give a perspective of a straight man in a relationship with a woman? That doesn't seem to work. Which is possibly why he's only filmed one show and not there anymore. That makes no sense to me. And apparently to someone else. Moving right along. He had many other gigs. And then the TGIF came currently. And he's currently a YouTuber. All right. No problems there. Dropped the wig and just went forward. Great. I've even been in his comments telling him some things that he needs to let go of, the way he, what he's doing if he wants to be a serious journalist, because he was saying he wanted to be a serious journalist. And there were some times where he was not fact checking and speaking things as though they were facts when it came out later that they weren't, but he was still hung up on them being facts when they weren't. And then he was cussing folks out about it. And sometimes I'd come behind and say you can't get mad at somebody. Like if you want to be a serious journalist, you need to have your facts. That is a key, one of the most highly important things you need to have if you want to be a serious journalist. And those are his words, not mine. All right. I feel now. Well, apparently I don't think he no longer wants to be a serious journalist, but let's continue. In the present, it's represented by the reversed tower. Now, remember the question is, why is he increasing his black people rhetoric? So it's the reversed tower in the present. That's the answer. He began to swim and get his head above water in his personal life. An event that was life-changing and felt negative gave him power as he gained control over it. I'm going to say that I believe that event coincided with his father's passing. When his father passed, he was out for a while, didn't record videos and everything, and then finally came back and proclaiming that, I'm gonna be honest, the first thing he had said was, I got bills, so I had to sit up in front of this camera, although I'm depressed, but I gotta pay my bills. That's what he said. And pretty much how he said it too. So I was like, ooh, okay then. You can't even, you seem angry, sir. All right. But it was like aggressive energy. I'm like, dang. And that Because also he was saying that him and his dad didn't get along, so he really don't understand why he was depressed about it. Now, I'm paraphrasing, but you can go back and watch those videos because I'm telling the truth, so I don't mind. Oh, which actually is the perfect time for me to say, bring your beautiful eyes to the bottom of the screen, no matter what screen you are looking at, whether it be an iPhone, Android, Kmart phone, oh, Kmart is closed, big screen TV, laptop, notebook, PC, whatever you're looking at. Bring your beautiful eyes to the bottom of the screen, to that red bar at the bottom. What that red bar says is this is for entertainment purposes only, and every single word is what? Alleged, and not to be used as facts. So anytime that you see that red bar at the bottom of your screen, the sentence inside applies. Alrighty then, moving right along. So I'm just repeating what this man has said, and if it's not word for word, then it is paraphrasing. Now, it's in reverse. So his experience and the BLM came together. The card was reversed because he wanted to stop the pattern of destruction. Inevitably, that may cause projection. So his father passed, and he's feeling emotional about it. And he even said, I don't even know why, because we didn't get along. Well, because you didn't get along, that's the reason why it's emotional. Because he probably felt like he wasn't having what's called, quote unquote, like a normal reaction of your father passing, which will catapult you, okay? Not make, but catapult you into an introspective state. And from that, triggered his depression. He's talked about it several times that he suffers from depression, which is real, which is why I had to re-record this, because I was cussing a lot, and I'm not trying to. I was cussing because I was upset, and I'm not trying to make this a gang up on Funky Dineva Q type of thing. That's not what I'm doing, and that's not what I'm doing. I want to open up dialogue. All right, not about depression, but about Black people rhetoric and how dangerous it is. And so let's continue. So it is clarified. Now, this made me laugh too, just a little bit. Embrace your mess. Okay. I said, oh my God, it was upright. Do not wallow too long. Your thoughts are a message to the universe. So embrace your mess. This is so perfectly coinciding with this. So him deciding to teach, because I think he thinks he's teaching in this moment at that time when he came out and started talk, because this has been happening for years, but like I said in the opening, it's gotten worse. The more media that he gets, the worse it's gotten. I am taking you guys back in time from the point of the Black Lives Matter and his dad passing and his depression, him admitting that he had a problem with depression, all of that. It wasn't bad. It still was projection. It was projection, not education. It was projection. But it was less seen as projection because it was more clean at that time, because he was shining light on stuff that he felt like he could do since he had a platform. And this is before he was on TGIF, okay? So he felt like he needed to embrace his mess and talk about it. And he did. And there's nothing wrong with that, okay? But let me tell you something. Comparing that way back then to recently, him projecting his mess, talking about Black people need to unlearn and need to know how to pay their bills. WTF. Why are you implying that all Black people don't know how to pay their bills just because you and your mama had some misfortunate bill conversations? See, right here, what we're looking at right now, This is when he was more open-minded to say, not all black people, but, you know, like he was more kind and nice when he was speaking. Maybe it was that them 20,000 lost subscribers. I don't know. I don't know if that's what made him more kind. That because he had been kind after that. But the more media exposure he got, I guess he went back to his spirit saying his original self. Because his original self was in that video when he talked all that shit about black women wanting to be gay black men. That offended me. I was highly offended. I don't want to be a gay black man. Not ever in my life have I ever wanted to be a gay black man. That was weird. That was a weird statement to me. I didn't even understand where that was coming from, to be honest. I was shocked. But anyway, moving forward. So, yeah, let's move forward. Here, some more receipts. Did he say black men are the problem? Yes, he did. Straight black men are the problem in the black community. Then he followed that up with black gay men are problematic for the black community too. So he's straight up saying, well, what about the bisexual black men? What about them? What about the fluid men? What about the transsexual men? What about them? Or is it just, and actually I'm just trying to be funny. He's saying black men are the problem. Here are my receipts. Go ahead and look at them. Take it all in. Let's continue. Now I am going to interrupt with a very important message to ask that you click like, subscribe, and share. All right, so that we can get this algorithm popping. All right, so if you've come this far, you might as well click like. And if you've come this far, you might as well click subscribe. Okay, and if you've come this far, whether you click like or subscribe, most likely you're going to share. And I thank you for that. I thank everyone for your support, okay? Because these type of videos, I'm going to keep doing it because ultimately I am unapologetic. I'm unapologetic for speaking up, you know, which is exactly what Funky Dineva is doing. He's speaking his opinion and I'm speaking my opinion about his opinion. And we all can do it because we live in America where we have freedom of speech. So, go ahead and share. Even if you don't click like or subscribe, share it with someone who you feel like should see it. Here we are at the best, what he imagined the best of the black people rhetoric to be. So, it's 8 of Swords reversed. But I'm going to talk about it being upright and what it means upright in order for you guys to help you understand the reverse part of it. So, it's self-confinement, okay? This person kind of feels like the outside people are trapping them and confining them and, you know, they're in bondage from the outside world, when really the card actually means that it's self-confinement. You can become free at any time because no one's doing this to you. You're doing it to yourself. That's what this card represents upright. Now let me read my summary. Y'all know, my regular sages know. Sometimes I go off, I look at the card and I just go off. But, and that's because I'm a card reader. Let me read my summary. He felt talking about his trauma would help, and it did. He got up and on with his life, picking up where he left off at. Bills. Because I told you guys, when he got in front of the camera, he said he had to pay his bills, and he had an attitude about it. But that's what got him in front of the camera. Okay. In reverse, it means he feels free from the confinement. With that freedom, we, black people, supported him as he told his story. We, black people, were his cheerleaders, as we should be. And I'm saying black people because this is a focus on his black people rhetoric. But I'm sure there's other races that supported him, just like I have other races on my channel. So to all of the other races, don't feel like you're left out, okay? And please don't, because if something comes up where I need to go ahead and do a reading on someone in your particular race about them talking about their race, I will. So everybody's included, okay? And I'm unapologetic. Moving on. Here is the kicker. Clarified by social media support. What that black people, quote unquote, cheerleading support translates to is an increase in social media following. So that's what had happened. When you are a black person and you have a huge following, mostly black people, and you give your story that is a less fortunate story, black people, we will come in and woo you. We will. And there's nothing wrong with that, what that resulted in. Because this is a clarifying card, social media support. That's what he got when he did that. Nothing wrong with that, and no surprise. That's what we do. Okay? Continuing. So, maybe stories had dried up a little bit, which made him create a Dear Dineva. And I beg to ask, is this really you? Dear Dineva? These sound like some made up ass stories. So let's dive in real quick. Now, let me say this. First and foremost, look at the thumbnails. So, even if these stories were true and came to him, my first question is how? Did he ever open up a Dear Abby column and say, hey, you guys, email me at 1-800-Dineva to ask me different questions? I don't recall that ever happening. Okay. And if someone says that it did happen, please show me the receipts. Because it didn't. So you can't. All right. But he came out of nowhere with some Dear Dineva stuff. I guess he wants us to believe people randomly decided at just this particular point in time. People decided to ask him they life-changing stuff. All right. So even with that being said, every single thumbnail is of black people. And it's some effed up stuff. So let's go ahead and check this out. And I'm looking at the thumbnail. We're going to go by thumbnail because he talked about how important a thumbnail is one time. So he knows how important a thumbnail is. A thumbnail is something that you, just in case someone doesn't know, Spirit is something to explain. Thumbnail is what you use on YouTube or probably any other platform, but it's to catch your audience's attention so that they click on it. That's that little square that you see. So in this case, if you look to the left of everything that I'm showing you, my receipts, that's his thumbnail. So the very first one, we have a black man behind bars and a pregnant black woman. That's his thumbnail. Next, we have a black, looks young, black young woman. Oh, the thumbnail says she's 23 and life sucks. Next, we have a group of black people Their hands up in the air, look like they doing an electric slide. That's usually what happens at weddings and stuff. But anyway, and then a black couple. And it says, my broke family keeps begging us. Broke family. All right, so they're black. All right. So far we got a black man in jail, black woman pregnant. So we're imagining that he went to jail and left a black woman pregnant alone because he's in jail. That's the thumbnail. Then a young 23-year-old black woman, beautiful braids in her hair, but a black woman, she feels like life sucks. All right. Oh, it says, I hate my job and my life and my friends and my man. I'm just now seeing all of that like that. Okay. She hate her job, her life, her man, her friends. She hate everybody. Life sucks. She's 23 and she's black. Okay. But beautiful braids in her hair. Okay, sir. First of all, if somebody feels like their life sucks, they ain't got no beautiful hair. Why are you doing this? My question is why, okay? You guys, my question ultimately is why. And WTF. But I'm trying not to cuss. Next, we have my broke family keeps begging us. And he got a picture of black folks like they dancing and having a good time. Oh, here go the bottles. There's beer bottles there. Well, that looked like a water bottle. But there's some beer bottles. I don't know what this is supposed to convey. And what I think is water bottles could be alcohol. I don't know. I'm not sure. I've never seen those bottles. And then a black couple that looks happy. But I guess the happy couple is being, accosted by the black family that's begging. Okay, next we have So She Can Hunch. What the stepdaughter wants birth control. They're black. So they're saying that a child wants to have sex. I guess he's insinuating, if I were to guess, having sex early. And she's black. All of these are effing ridiculous. But we're going to continue. What's ridiculous about it? The fact that he makes them all black. First of all, you know what? Wait a minute. Let's continue. Hold on. Yeah, I wasn't done. So this one, they're all black. All right. They're tired of caring for... My mom is irresponsible and I feel stuck taking care of her. Black. I don't want to help my boyfriend take care of his sick mama. And he has a picture of a black old woman and a stroke in the corner. So is the black woman going to have a stroke? And you don't want to take care of her even though she had a stroke. Angels is saying that she had a stroke, and so now, and that's true. When elderly people, or whatever age you are, you may, because you know what, I have an aunt that had a stroke, and she wasn't old at all, but she needed care, and we all rallied around and helped her with no problem. And we're black. Honey, my cousin want to come out, and I'm not gonna do it. Okay, so this, I don't want to help, and I'm going to assume after she had a stroke, she don't want to help. He made them black. Then we got, what we got over here? Oh, her husband watched trans porn. Is he gay? They're black. My irritation, and everybody can take it how you want to, because I'm taking it how I want to. And the way that I'm taking it, I'm offended that he made up a Dear Dineva only to make it appear to be black people. If you gonna make up something, do all kinds of races. Because different ethnicities, y'all know I be having problems pronouncing words, ethnicities follow him. Get every single color of the rainbow, sir. Why just black? Why just black? That's my question for today, okay? That's my question. In the worst position, we have King of Pentacles, which was in the reverse. No surprise there. This is a rich king. This king may do whatever it takes to stay rich. New money don't know how to act. Reverse. This rich king is in reverse because he doesn't want anyone to know that he will do what he needs to do in order to have his desired lifestyle of the rich and famous. Shout outs to Robin Leach. Even if that means throwing his cheerleaders under the bus as his sacrifice. That's us, black people. Okay. In the worst position is the reverse King of Pentacles, clarified by a card that says we've grown apart. The worst would be if he can't keep his black audience engaged. Because remember, we're the ones that supports him and made him grow. All right. He believes abusive language will seal the deal. That's evident when he alluded to black women liking the verbal abuse, allegedly. He said that on TGIF. He said it. They were talking about some other man who I don't listen to, allegedly. I think it's Samuel something, allegedly. He said black women were stupid. And they liked the abuse. That's what he believes. Allegedly. More receipts. The only black man has 4 videos. 1 white man, 1 video. 2nd white man, 1 video. We are entering into the politics of it all. So, here it is. I'm going to give you straight facts. Allegedly, and all that. Matt Gaetz is someone who Funky Dineva went on camera and begrudgingly spoke about, saying he did not want to speak about it. He ain't got nothing to say. The only reason why he's going to speak about it right now is simply because everybody been hitting him up because they know he went to school with him and he ain't got nothing to say. Okay? Although he went on to say that Matt came to all of the frat parties. See, Funky Dineva Q, this is before he was Funky Dineva, so Q, was in a fraternity. And fraternities have frat parties. And Matt was there all the time. And Matt was considered the cool white guy. He even mentioned Matt came to his house before because Funky Dineva was, not house, apartment. Okay? And that's no shade. I'm just getting my facts right. Matt came to his apartment when Funky Dineva decided to run for some kind of government office on campus. So, he even been in your house chilling, talking to you. You guys partied together because Funky Dineva, Q, said that he liked him. He was a cool guy. He didn't have a problem with him. And he didn't want to talk about him. Okay. There's no issue with that in it of itself. However, let's travel on over to the black guy, Andrew Gillums. 4 video coverages together, over 90 minutes. White guy 20, black guy 90, over 90. All right? Okay. So, and we're talking politics, which he usually doesn't get all into politics, but he decided to get in Andrew Gillum's ass. Figuratively, of course. And that's alleged. Now, here's the issue I have. He also admitted to going to school with Andrew Gillum. But he said he didn't know him at all. And they just passed each other on campus. He knew of him. They just passed each other on campus. Okay, dude. You did not know Andrew Gillum, but you got over 90 minutes of talking shiznit about him. But you really actually did know Matt, the white guy, and talked about his family and everything. Party with him, talked about his family. He been to your apartment. You only got 20 minutes for him. And he got an attitude. Go back and watch that video. He got an attitude. Like he just really, and he said he did not want to talk about this. He said, because I don't know him. But motherfucker, don't you not know? You don't know Andrew though, even less. You didn't party with Andrew. Andrew ain't been to your house. You don't know Andrew's family. But he got 90 minutes of your time and you was happy about it. Happy about it. Watch his demeanor. This is what I'm questioning. This is what I want to talk about. And you can't deny it. I don't care who may or may not be in my comments and what's going on in y'all head right now. I'm showing you receipts. You cannot deny Q was not happy talking about Matt, and he was extremely happy talking about Andrew. And then you can't deny numbers either. So don't talk crazy now, because I'll get you. Continuing. Now we're at what's to come. It is the hanging man, which in this deck is called the hanged one. He'll be waiting for the next Black people issue. If one's not trending, he'll make it up. Allegedly. For example, when he dogged out the young Black gay man that took a college graduation picture wearing heels. Further clarified by, this could be your big chance. Go for it. This is a yes card. Yeah. So he's lying in wait for the next big chance to dog out a Black person or a Black issue. Point blank period. I knew that before this clarifier came out. Hanging around, that's what's to come. Oh yeah, I see you. I see you. I see you. What's to come? You just lie and wait for your next opportunity to dog out either a Black person or a Black issue. And it's clarified by this is, or this could be your big chance. Oh yeah, you're waiting. You're waiting. So here's an example in what I was talking about the Black college man in heels. He began by saying the story was blowing up online. Absolutely nothing featured this story. He was questioned in the comments on its origin. The only reason why I know that is because I was going to type it until I saw 187 people beat me to it. And that replies to one single comment calling him out. He didn't respond. I guess it was 187. They killed him in the comments. But what you see is screenshots of me just looking it up. Black man, college graduate in heels. And then I typed all kinds of different variations trying to find where it was blowing up in the comments. Now, let me tell y'all something. 5% of me feels like he done photoshopped this goddamn picture and it didn't really exist because we can't find the origin of the story. And I don't believe that it's beneath him to make up some shit if he has a quota to fill. Catch that. Allegedly. Here are the screenshots. Why he look like, man, when I clicked on this, I forgot I took all these pictures. He looked like DMX, a old DMX, a skinny old DMX. Okay, these are screenshots of just some of the comments. I'm not going to read them. These are comments saying they can't find the story he proclaimed to be burning up the internet. It was a lot. And when I said 187, that was just 187 to one comment. But there were a slew of others. Okay? And then notice his eyes are tilting to the left like he's reading a script. Get into it. I always pull an energy card, which reflects the energy that the person was feeling that projected out onto all the rest of the cards. His energy is the reversed Ace of Cups. This card represents unconditional love, love from God, and love for yourself unconditionally. It was reversed. So, in this reading, it means he feels the opposite as it relates to Black people and himself. Here's the real kicker for me. The clarification. Stay woke. Your eyes are closed. Ask yourself why. This was in reverse. This is his energy. This is clarifying his energy. Ace of Cups represents unconditional love for himself and Black people. Reversed, stay woke, your eyes are closed, ask yourself why. Says you'd rather act or appear dumb than face the truth of this situation. Only you know why. In reverse, he's pretending extra hard that nothing is wrong with his behavior and pretending not to see it. I dare somebody to ask him. Ask him about this. Not this, meaning, what I'm saying, but just, ask him about the correlation between the more popular he gets, the more he talks Black people rhetoric. He's going to play dumb on you. Or get mad. Spirit said, or get mad. Because a lot of people, when they're guilty, they get mad at you. They get mad at you. Continuing. More on my theory of him making up stories. I believe, allegedly, he's getting paid to play a position. That's how I feel. And more will be on that later. But he has a quota to meet for disparaging Black people. And I believe, allegedly, that he'll make it up. Like the Black man in heels. He'll make it up. Allegedly. If he doesn't have a story, he'll tell one. So, here's his story times. And he's Black, so it counts. So when he talks mess about himself and degrades himself, it counts. So he talks about shitting in bushes. Which actually, that story, I don't know if he cut it out and chopped it up. And I'll tell you why in a minute. But it started, he was in a car, he shitted on himself while he was driving. No, it wasn't his brand new car. No, it wasn't that, because it was way back. He hadn't got that brand new car yet that we know of. But he shitted on himself while he was driving in the car. This is his story. This is his story. And then he talks about the edible marijuana made him almost die. And there's 2 stories about edible marijuana making him almost die. Then he talks about throwing up in the gym and how he was so embarrassed. So he only did 4 of those, so I don't know if his bosses said that those qualified or not. But either way, he's still saying degrading things about Black people. Even if he has to throw his own self under the bus, he gonna get that check. You know what? Before we go any even further, Spirit told me to say right here, right now, when he gets a hold of this, him, Claudia, Al, and the executive producers, lawyers, and attorneys, and all that, once I shine light on this, it's not that they'll address me personally, because I'm a small YouTuber. I don't, if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. I don't give a fuck. Okay? I am gonna cuss right here. I don't give a fuck. This is to open up conversation about this bullshit. As if we don't see. I see you. I see what's going on. You're getting paid to down Black people. So what they're gonna do, Spirit told me, stay focused. What they're gonna do is address it. Not addressing me, but address it and make it seem like, Funky Dineva's Which first of all, he said he didn't want to be called Funky Dineva no more. He wanted to be called Q or Quentin because he wanted to be taken as a serious journalist. However, when you get on TGIF, allegedly, you all of a sudden are okay with being the clown again. Catch that. So these people are going to pretend like they're caping for them and say nobody's getting paid to play any roles, because I'm going to break down their roles in just a second. And they're going to be defensive. They're not going to give me shine, light, or anything, and that's fine. I'm not trying to have shine or light. I'm trying to open up. Well, actually, not trying. I am opening up dialogue to talk about it. Because I see it, and you're not pulling the wool over my eyes, although there are other bloggers who love to try to, well, they don't try, they do. They quote them. Funky Dineva say, Funky Dineva say, Funky Dineva say. And that's okay. However, me personally, the only time I'm going to quote him is in some shit like this right now, because I see you. And I see what you're doing. Maybe because I've been a follower from the very beginning, and I've seen the gradual change into dissension, into some fucked upness. Like, it's gotten really, really, really bad. It's hard to see a positive black people message that's positive, where he's not putting black people down at all. You can't find it. I challenge you. You can't find it. So Fox News and Foxhole and Fox whoever, Kiss My Hole, whatever, you can't find it. So miss me with the bullshit. All right, we'll continue. Okay, so on here, I'm not even. There's nothing new here. But just know this is the grown man who poops on himself while driving home and regales in the story. Or this is a grown man who makes up stories about pooping on himself while having no medical reason for incontinence. These are some of his views on church. But I ask you to consider the source. Consider the source. That's it. You can pause it if you want to read it. Actually, I was trying to rush, but there are a couple of points I want to make. He mentions a crackhead sucking dick at the church. He calls church people stupid 2 times. Then he flip-flops about the church. He says that gay people don't care what the church people think. Then he asks for the church to accept gay people by changing their policies. He's all over the place. But this comes from a person who poops on himself or makes up stories about pooping on himself. So we have to consider the source, point blank, period. And it's not that I'm sitting up here caping for churches. You can go to church, not go to church. You can be religious, not be religious. That's up to you. Everybody's individual. But I'm just saying, he talks about churches and he's all over the place. But ultimately, this is coming from a man who shits on himself. So consider the source. Here we are, where I want to tell you he's still like this. Just in case anyone wanted to talk about my receipts being older, I started back and I'm bringing you forward, okay? He's still like this. One of his most recent videos about DaBaby, I don't know this person. I don't know if he's a singer, a rapper, or whatever, but I assume that he is because they said he was in a concert. The picture that Funky Dineva had, the man had his shirt off. He was slicked up in oil or sweat. I don't know what it was. He has a microphone in his hand, and they said he was at a concert. So I'm thinking he's either a singer or a rapper. I don't know. It doesn't matter because this is not about him, so don't try me, okay? Don't pivot and try to come and act like this message is about him. It's not. Okay, I don't know the baby. So, whatever. I don't have to know him. I'm talking about what Funky Dineva said in the video. 1333, he pretends resistance. Pretending like he don't really want to talk about, like it's just so hard for what he getting ready to say. Like it's just so hard at 1333. 1408, he goes in. He goes in. Here's the thing. He said a lot when he went in. And I had to pull myself back on, I had to just pick something on what I want to talk about because he's so effing ridiculous with the shit that he was saying. One of the things he said was that the baby was creating, or actually he said the N-word, ninjas like the baby was creating a bunch of broken and battered black women. What the F are you talking about? You are pretending that there is just a nation of broken and battered black women? First of all, you need to stop projecting, sir. If those are the women in your family and that's how you were raised, okay. But you can't blanket statement that, actually I guess you can, because this is America, freedom of speech. He can say whatever the fuck he wants, just like I can say whatever the fuck I want. And what I'm saying is that is retarded and ridiculous to make it seem like America, with the way he's talking, if someone did not know America, which is what I want you guys to realize, someone from a different nation clicks and turns him on, what do you think they are going to, what impression do you honestly think they would have of Black America if they just listened to any one of his damn videos? Well, my point is, though, is that it's not true. Completely. So here's the thing. I'd be willing to bet, on average, black families, black women, black men, black children, they're more on the healthy scale than the unhealthy scale. I ain't talking about physical health. I'm talking about mentally. So he wants us to believe that there's more broken and battered black women out there. I disagree. I think there's more healthy black women out there, like mentally. That's been my experience. So since he's gone off on this black people tirade and rhetoric and BS, I've disconnected from him because I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. I really don't. I haven't had those experiences. And I'm surrounded by people who haven't had those experiences. Now, I'm not saying those experiences don't exist, but what he's doing is saying that my experience doesn't exist. Being around healthy black people. And all of this is objective. Because I don't know what he thinks healthy blackness is. And what I might think healthy blackness is may not be what he thinks healthy blackness is. But yes, I do know some single parent black women. I most definitely do. They're not broken and battered. They did what they had to do, and they're healthy, their children are healthy, and everything is good. Like, some of the kids, I can't connect. But what irritates me is that he acts like this is what it looks like, and it's not actually. That's not the truth. And here's the thing. He already believes that black women like to be spoken to in an abusive manner. So that's what he's doing. Allegedly. But that's what the fuck he's doing. I think he's sadly mistaken. At 1550, he talks about himself. One of the quotes he says is, reaping the benefits of a systematic oppressive system that loves creating toxic images to continue to poison the mind of black youth. So they've created spaces for people like you. He's talking about himself. So since he's talking about himself, let's talk about him. He followed up on his TGIF show, allegedly, that he wishes he wasn't black. That's what he said. He wished he wasn't black. Let's look at this real quick. He's like a 40-year-old man. All right. First question. Because, see, my hand is raised because I'm like, ooh, teacher. You want to be a teacher? Teacher. I got questions, teacher. I was always that student. I got questions. Let me tell y'all something. Anyway, never mind. That's let me tell y'all something. It ain't too personal. When I was in high school, I've always been like in the higher rank class, whatever that's called. Okay, doesn't matter. I didn't always want to be there because we had more homework. Okay, I wasn't liking that, but we had to read a novel a week. One of my teachers had the audacity to have slavery novels every week. I stopped her at, I think it was number 3, the third novel, and said, I will not. I said, what you could do is, I said, because I already know my ancestors were enslaved. I know that. I got that. You're not going to make me read about that every week. That's what I'm not going to do in this class. I said, so go ahead and let me know what the guidelines are to choose a novel, and I'll choose my own because I'm not going to read about slavery every week. Honey, y'all should have seen this. She was an old white lady. Her mouth touched that ground and stayed there. She was so pissed. And so fast forwarding, she told the principal whatever, and I talked to my mama, and I told her already, like, my mom's gonna agree with me because we don't play this shit. We don't do this shit. I'm aware. You know what I'm saying? I read two books, okay? All about we call them massa and all that. Like, I got it. I get it, okay? You're not gonna do this to me for the whole entire year, sweetheart. And see, the issue was, too, most of the students were of non-black. I think I might have been the only black. So maybe she wasn't used to getting people who objected to it. Because she looked so shocked, like, how dare I? Yes, I dare, bitch. I dare. This is who I am. I've been this way all my life, unapologetic. What? Do you want some? Come and get some. So anyway, we talked to the principal, counselor, everybody, and I was able to not be forced to read slavery books. And as long as it met those guidelines, I could pick whatever the fuck book I wanted. And so, of course, y'all already know where I went with them books. I ain't even gotta, say it. But guess what? She left for the rest of the year. She went out sick and was pissed. Then, it don't stop there. The substitute that we got for the rest of the year, she left him a note on the book that we were in the middle of reading and all of the rest of the books she had planned, and said that no student was allowed to change the book. So when I turned in my report and all this, whatever we had to turn in, he had to talk to me because he was like, why did you, he didn't know what was going on. He said she specifically said they can't choose a different book. So honey, I'm glad you're sitting down, and I went ahead and broke it down. And then he was just shaking his head because he wasn't racist. And he was just like wowed at the fact that it happened all like that. And that she wrote him a note saying nobody can change the book. So anyway, I ain't new to this. I can recognize it a mile away. So my question is, so he says he wishes he wasn't black. All right, Q, you wish you weren't black. You think that's a healthy state of mind? You think that's better than whatever the hell the baby said? Are we to weigh them out? Because I think they're both unhealthy ways of thinking and speaking to America's youth. What the fuck? Okay, I said I wasn't gonna cuss. So if not black, then what? He always jokes about being a rich white woman. But it's my question, if not black. So you don't want to be black. All right. You don't want to be black. Okay. Thanks for telling us. So what do you want to be instead of black? Q. And are we to think this is healthier than anyone else's derogatory comments towards black people? Do you not see this as derogatory, that you don't want to be black? You wish you weren't black? Okay, sir. What's the difference between a 40-year-old man saying, I don't want to be black, versus a 4-year-old little girl saying, I don't want to be black? Now, see, when we watch these TV shows and these colored girls say they don't want to be their color, they want to be white, everyone is like, oh my God, teach her to love herself. She has to love herself. And that's real MFing talk. Yes, we do need to love ourselves. No matter what hue, color, dialect, whatever language we speak in. We need to love ourselves and accept ourselves. I always talk about that on my page, unapologeticallysage.com. I do. But is it okay for a 40-year-old black man to say it? Why don't we have a reaction where somebody need to hug his ass and teach his ass? Okay. So a 40-year-old black man can say it, a 4-year-old girl shouldn't, but a 40-year-old man can. It's the same shit. Open up your eyes. And is this an example of self-hate that he's creating to poison our youth? Because he said it's created to poison our youth. This sounds like self-hate created to poison our youth. Allegedly, and that's in my opinion. That's my opinion. And it's alleged, and it's my opinion. Not to be used as facts, but based on what I'm seeing, it is in my life from what I see. And this I thought was interesting, because it started as clickbait. Then he changed the thumbnail and the description. So his house flooded, his apartment, not house. He said house, but it's an apartment. And that's no shade. That is no shade. It's just facts. So get over it. And he says he has an apartment all the time. Even in this description right here, it says my apartment. The thumbnail says house. The description says apartment. So don't act like I'm trying to shade him, because I'm not. This, again, is for open dialogue, conversation. Okay? I need y'all to understand that before y'all get in my damn comments. Now, he changed all of this because it first was just saying that his house flooded. That's it. I clicked on it. For the longest time, he talks about his house flooding. Then at the end, it turns into, and I bought a brand new car, so bitches. And I think he said it's an $80,000 car. I said 75 because I wasn't for sure. Nothing wrong with buying a car, but don't clickbait us. Because I'm the type of person, and some of you listening right now may have seen me in your comments or somewhere saying, I'm going to pray for you. Because I really do. I believe in that. I do it. I believe in it, and I believe in uplifting and spreading love and light. I do, and I will until the day I die. Okay. That's just me. That's how I am. That's how I'm built. That's what I do. So when I saw his the house flooded or whatever, I felt bad. I felt empathy. And as I was listening, I felt empathy because I've actually gone through it. I have in my house flooded, and it is a headache. It's a huge headache. Huge headache. Very inconvenient. Having to take everything out and replace some of your memories can't be replaced. It's a huge headache. So instantly I empathized with him. I am an empath, so I was feeling it. And then for the end to be like a slap in your face, and a slap in your face because I was like, oh, that video looked like this is what you really wanted to say. You wanted to announce that you bought a $75,000, I said Mercedes or whatever. What is it? BMW or whatever. You still could do that. They could be separate videos, though. Oh, you know what Sir just said? He knew damn well just having a video saying, I bought this brand new car. Ain't nobody gonna... He didn't... Okay. He was trying to bring in his haters. You know what? Honestly, he was trying to get Michelle from ATL to allegedly. He wanted her to click on it. This is right after he said, you go down, I go to hell, or all that stuff. He wanted her to click on it, and he's trying to be braggadocious in her face. But anyway, the clickbait, I didn't appreciate. But he's getting paid enough to get this car, and he is happy, and ain't nothing wrong with it. Congratulations on your car. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it at all. Okay? But do you really feel like you have to be paid to bring down black people? Why are you doing that? That is what the fuck is wrong with it. That's what's wrong with it. Because the way I see it, Claudia can't talk about black people negatively or joke about them anymore because she's already been caught being racist or whatever, or colorist, sorry, whatever. They both bad. Allegedly. Al, they have him set up as the nerd. He's gonna look into stuff or whatever and be, opposite of whatever the fuck they call him Funky Dineva, when he said clearly that he wanted to be called Quentin, because he wanted to be taken seriously. Not anymore, because shit, they giving him money. Look at that money flying out the sky. So he like, you can call me whatever. Call me booty cheeks. I don't care. Shit, grease them up. I do not care. I will bend over just to say hi. I ain't saying he bending over for nothing else. He just maybe want to grease up and say hi. Anyway, allegedly. But he's getting paid. He wants everybody to know I'm getting paid, okay? So while y'all sitting over there and whatever, and driving whatever, I'm getting paid. Hi. So he will continue to play that person where Al gets to keep his hands clean and, defend people and use numbers and stuff. And Claudia bet not ever fix her lips to say nothing bad about black people. She can't. And guess what? Gary with the T, allegedly, was hired to be the snapping sissy. Now, in that first episode, he said he was not going to be the snapping sissy and would not be the snapping sissy. And he ain't been back. He did 2 episodes. He ain't been back. He told them that he was on vacation. And for the longest time, Claudia came on saying, Gary with the T, he's on vacation. Gary's on vacation. Gary's on that. And then finally she said, okay, he ain't coming back. But you know what? That's just because he got a boss who don't like me. No, Gary told yourself he was not going to be that snapping sissy. Now, when he said it, I was like, what is a snapping sissy? I was like, what is a snapping sissy? I didn't know what the hell that was. I really didn't. And as I was like, oh, I just imagined, oh, okay. He talking about like on A Living Color when they used to review those movies and do snaps in a Z. That's what he was saying. And he said he's not going to be that person. And as you can see, he's not there. So that's what he got hired to do, allegedly. Funky Dineva got hired to put down the blacks. And he is playing that role because he getting money bag. He ain't tripping. When really he tries to pretend. Now, this is my issue with it. It can so much be his opinion. That's fine because I have mine and this is mine. The problem comes in when you pretend like it's education, like you're educating us. Black people. No. You're saying bad things and poisoning our youth. Especially when you went to talk about the credit. You're poisoning our youth. which is what you accuse other people of doing. That's exactly what you're doing. And you know you're doing it because you put it on your YouTube and promote it even more. When you go on TGIF and you touch on it and then you say, you can find out how I really feel on my channel. Like, and you poison. It's more poison that you spew out of your mouth. But then, even as you sit up here and claim someone's poisoning the youth, then you try to say how they're poisoning the youth. You're poisoning the youth. It's like you're pouring more poison in it just to like different people. It's the same poison. The same poison, but you're trying to reach a different audience. It's still poison. Poison is poison, bitch. Here we are. I'm not going to read all of this because, again, I don't have any idea as of right now how long this video is, but I ask that you guys pause it and read it for yourselves. When we talk about freedom of speech and uplifting black people, this is what I had in mind, which is far opposite of what he's doing. Okay? And I'm not going to read it because I already know if Indigo Sage begins to read these, I'm going to go on for 30 minutes talking about it. But I encourage you all to pause it. But what I will say is Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune, she's the founder of a college, a black women's college. Very educated. And she speaks about, speaking about black people and protesting. When you see that negative talk about black people, you got to say something. And I am. Like it, love it, leave it, don't like it, however you feel. At least I've conjured up some feelings inside of you. And this is a conversation that I would like to have. I don't feel like Funky Dineva Q is positively speaking of black people. His negative rhetoric of black people has increased as his media has increased. The reason why is because it's projection from his childhood, and he's getting paid to do it. That's the crown of it all. He's getting paid to do it. He was already doing it. Each one of them has a role to play, and they're playing it, and he's playing his. And I don't like it, and this is my opinion. But I encourage you guys to pause this real quick and read what Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune had to say. So, he has worked hard. He has. I've seen it. I've given you receipts. He's worked hard and he has earned, his position to have payments for a BMW. He's earned it. And what did Charlie, what's his name? He's winning. He always said he's winning. He said, I'm winning. He's winning in his eyes. Congratulations. Congratulations. You've earned payments for a BMW by putting down black folks. Congratulations, Q. You've earned it. I'm just going to ask real quick to click like, subscribe, and definitely share.